Dr. Ritika, may I request you to kindly unshare your screen for some time?
Sure, sir. Just
So, Dr. Vasan, may we start with your kind permission now?
sure, sir.
So, good afternoon, one and all present here on this online platform. I, Arun Prakash Agrawal, take this opportunity to welcome you all on this fourth session of this fourth version of International Online FTP themed on recent advances in computer science and allied domains. I'm sure that you are enjoying the sessions that has been delivered so far, and this session is going to be very, very important from the aspect that Mendeley is something which is being used by each one of us in one or all other aspect. And we have Dr. Ritika Vasan with us today, who is the speaker in this session, and she is a certified trainer on Mendeley. So I'm sure that you are going to be benefited by attending this session. And now let me take this opportunity to formally introduce the speaker of the session to the audience. So Dr. Ritika Vasan is working as an associate professor with Bharati Vidyapeeth Institute of Computer Applications and Management. She is also the managing editor for International Journal of Information Technology, which is an official journal of Bharati Vidyapeeth's Institute of Computer Applications and Management, and is co-published with Springer and is indexed in UGC Care as well as Scopus. She is an avid researcher, and being an avid researcher, she is the editor for CSI Communications, a monthly magazine published by the Computer Society of India. Till date, she is, as I told you earlier in the introduction, also that she is a certified Mendeley trainer and has trained several professionals and scholars on Mendeley till date. As a researcher, she has also authored many books and manuscripts published by many leading publishers. So, with these words, may I now request Dr. Ritika Vasan to kindly take over and address the audience.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to be part of this wonderful faculty development program with all the wonderful gathering we have over there. And thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. So, a very warm welcome to all the attendees of this session. And I would be your Mendeley facilitator for today. So, I hope we make the most out of this session. I'll start sharing my screen first of all. So today we will have a brief introduction into reference management using Mendeley. Reference management, I would say, is not a new term. I hope all of us have come across it at some point of time. When we have written research papers, we have done something. We have written a research paper and we have submitted it to a journal or something. And we have got back a review comment like something like reference is very poor, literature review is shallow. I think these are some things, some comments all of us have come across at some point of time in our life. So this is a big problem that most of the researchers are facing today. And how can we overcome this problem? How can we automate the solution a little bit? That is what we are going to see today through this Mendeley. So first of all, let us try and understand what do we mean by Mendeley and what is reference management with Mendeley? So before I start with reference management with Mendeley, let's have a brief look, a brief idea of what citation management is actually. If I talk about citation management and if I talk about old times, I don't know how many of you would agree with this experience of mine. But I personally believe that citation management has not always been as easy as it is today. I remember times we used to go to a library, and in the library, we used to have some cards kind of system, and we had to go across the cards and we had to find the appropriate references, etc. Citation management software, if we go to the brief history of it, it was actually first introduced in the year 1980s, and it was originally used primarily to organize references, search databases for articles on any particular topic, and yes, generate bibliographies. Over the years, obviously, the citation management softwares have evolved, bibliographies, references have evolved. So the user needs have changed, and technology has obviously grown in leaps and bounds. So many new features have been added to citation management as such. Today, if we talk about presently, there are many bibliographic citation management packages available in the market. Popular tools include some like reference work, EndNote, Zotero, Mendeley, etc. So these are a few popular citation management packages. If I give a brief overview of what do we mean by citation management, so as for Duke University Library, plagiarism occurs when a student intentionally deceives or disregards proper scholarly procedures and presents any information, ideas, or phrasing of someone else as if they were his or her own words and does not give appropriate credit to the original source. And this credit giving, I would say, in the present times, this has become all the more important because plagiarism, ethical issues are something which are now no longer taken lightly by any of the renowned, well-known publishers. These are issues which are strongly taken by publishers, and if you submit a manuscript and the manuscript is found to be plagiarized, even before the publisher is going to review your manuscript, it is going to be outrightly rejected. So citation management has thus become more the important, I would say, in the present times. Proper scholarly procedures nowadays, they require that all quoted material be identified in your work either by quotation marks or indentations on the page, and the source of information and ideas, if from some other paper, be cited, identified, and attributed to that particular source. So that is the basic importance of citation management. And if we talk about Wikipedia, simply speaking, a citation is an abbreviated reference to a published or unpublished source. Now, this abbreviated reference, if I talk about, it can be of many different styles. A very common style that most of us have seen in computer science especially is use of square brackets, and in the square brackets a number will occur like 1, 2, 3, or 4. We go to other different domains, so you will see that in braces you will have the author, the first author name along with the year of publication, etc. But all of these are nothing but different citation styles that we can have. So one example is, like I was saying, in square brackets we can have a number. So simply speaking, a bibliographic citation is a reference to a book, article, web page, or some other published item. And a citation should supply detail in order to identify that particular item uniquely. And different citation systems and styles are used in scientific citations, legal citations, prior arts, humanities. So depending on the domain, the citation style can vary. And believe me, my dear friends, there are a number of citation styles that are available in different domains as such. Talking about citation management tools, these tools can also be called as bibliographic management tools or citation managers. And the common ones, as I've already told, they are EndNote, Mendeley, Reference Work, and Zotero. All of these tools at an overview level, they help you organize, manage, and format the citations for your research. If we talk about these common tools, these are some popular tools that I have just discussed with most of you. So what is the difference in each of the tool, and why in this particular session, we are only discussing the Mendeley citation management tool? We will now try to understand that. So if I come to these particular tools, these are some common citation management tools. First of all, we will see how many citation styles that they support, what is the cost of each tool, and with which platforms are they basically compatible with. So if I talk about EndNote, this is a tool that is supporting more than 6,506 styles. But it is, yes, coming for a cost. It is not a free of cost software. The cost is somewhere around close to $300 annually, and it is compatible on Linux and Android platforms. Talking about Mendeley, what we are going to have a brief overview of in this session. This tool supports almost 6,781 citation styles. And remember, my friends, this is just the number of citation styles that is supported by Mendeley. If there is some other new citation styles that comes in the market, Mendeley provides easy adoption to that particular citation style also. It is a free tool. By default, you can create a free account which will provide you 2 GB of online storage, and that 2 GB of online storage approximately means somewhere around 700 to 800 articles stored online in your Mendeley library itself. If you want, you can also use this tool in a purchase mode. There is a purchase mode available. Over there, obviously, the storage space can be unlimited depending on the options with which you purchase this tool. Talking about compatibility, this is one tool that is compatible across all the well-known platforms, be it Windows, Mac OS, Linux, iOS, Android apps. For all the major platforms that are available, this tool is compatible. And I would say this is one tool that has a very big live community that is working 24/7 to help you with any problems that you face while using this tool. Talking about the other tool, another important tool is Zotero, which supports over 7,800 style. It again comes in a free, but that is a limited version with almost 300, only 300 MB of online storage. More storage space has to be purchased on this. The compatibility mode is yes for certain third-party software, iOS app and Android apps. Other specific tools that are available in the market, but again they are very limited in terms of their usage, are Reference Me, which can support a few citation styles. The exact number is not available. It is a free tool, but it is only supported by Windows. Reference Work can again support a few citation styles, but it is a cost tool, so that the cost is somewhere around $100 per year. It is supported on the iOS app and the Android app. Talking about Sky Reference, again, this is a Windows only tool with support for various citation styles, but again, the free version is only the trial version available. Otherwise, you have to purchase a membership for this particular tool. So this was a brief overview of the various citation management tools that are available in the market, so that all of us have a brief idea. And if any one of you is already working on any of these tools, so you can easily compare in the session how is Mendeley better than any of these tools. So next we'll come to Mendeley exactly, and we'll start with what is Mendeley. So coming to this important question, what is Mendeley? So a few key pointers about Mendeley are, it is a tool, and remember, I would say it is a free software. I being a certified Mendeley trainer, but till date I am working vehemently with the free Mendeley software. So I would say it is a free software that is available across a number of different platforms. So you can run Mendeley on your computer, and your computer can be any different platform that can be, or that you are actually using. It does not matter. So it is actually a free software that can run on your computer, on your laptop, your phone, your tablet, and you can access it from any modern web browser. You can either download the appropriate app for your particular device, or you can use your own web browser. And how will this tool help you? This tool will help you in organizing your documents, your references, collaborating with your co-authors, your colleagues, or your co-researchers in your domain, and discovering statistics and recommendations for your domain or area of interest. So this is a tool that can help you stay up to date, learn more, and over 6 million researchers trust Mendeley worldwide to share their ideas, see what's new in their field, and discuss important development. And today, by the end of this session, we hope we are going to add a few more researchers to this number of 6 million, which is continuously growing. So if I talk about what is Mendeley, I have just told all of you, it is a free academic software which is cross-platform compatible and can be supported on all major browsers. You can use it on your desktop, your web, your mobile. So any particular device that you are compatible with, that means Mendeley desktop, Mendeley web, Mendeley mobile, there is a version of Mendeley available for that particular device, which can offer you the ability and the power to access your references on the go, make notes from the papers that you are reading, and even annotate the papers that you are reading. So all that power is granted to you by Mendeley. So simply speaking, what is Mendeley? Very simply, at its least, as a researcher, if I would say Mendeley is a reference manager that can allow you to share, manage, read, annotate, and cite your research papers. So Mendeley can actually act as a repository for all your reference information. You can add papers to your Mendeley library by either importing the PDF files if they are stored on your machine, or by retrieving them from other locations like online catalogs like Science Direct, Scoopers, PubMed, or even simply speaking Google Scholar. You can also create entries for items that you do not have access to, like any PDFs, etc., by manually entering the details. Even that is possible. Materials that you will add to your library in Mendeley will actually be stored in the cloud for you to retrieve and share them any point of time. And remember, they are going to be secure along with your username and password. So it is going to provide you cloud storage, but that cloud storage will be completely secure. Your work will not be shared with anybody else unless and until you want to do that. So along with being a reference manager, Mendeley will also act as an academic collaboration network with over 6 million users to connect like-minded researchers and discover research trends and statistics. It also helps you in forming a crowdsourced database with a unique layer of social research information and an open API. So nowadays, a new facility which is available by Mendeley is that if you're doing a research, you have created some data set for your research, and you add that data set to Mendeley. So from Mendeley, other researchers who are working in your area and who would like to access your data set, they can use it from Mendeley itself. So even that feature is provided by Mendeley. So talking about Mendeley, there are 3 key values of this particular software. It is a reference manager which can drive your research productivity. It will help you in creating your research networks and groups that will enable collaboration and knowledge sharing. And yes, it will give you a research data and API to create additional insights and build your own apps. So that is the power of Mendeley, or that is the basics of Mendeley. A brief overview of the history of Mendeley. Mendeley as a software, it is not a short form, it is not a full form. It was actually named after the biologist Gregor Mendel and chemist Dmitry Mendeleev, who worked on this particular citation management tool. It was founded in London in November 2007 by 3 German PhD students. And the first public beta version of this tool was released in August 2008. Mendeley, in the recent year, earlier it used to be a free tool. From its beginning, from its inception, it has always been a free tool. But if we talk currently, Mendeley was purchased by the academic publisher Elsevier in the early 2013. So Mendeley is no longer free. It is no longer with Mendeley. Now it is an Elsevier product. The deal price was speculated somewhere to be around US dollars 65 million. But yes, Mendeley has retrieved its original characteristics even after this takeover. And instead, I would say the software has only grown for betterment even after this takeover. So after acquisition, Mendeley subsequently extended its product line into new areas while continuing to iterate on its reference manager utility. Different Mendeley products, and as I've already told you, that since 2013, after Mendeley was acquired by Elsevier, the product line has grown further. So today we no longer have the three Mendeley products, mainly Mendeley Desktop, Mendeley Web, and Mendeley Mobile. We now have a number of different Mendeley products like Mendeley Desktop, but Mendeley Desktop as a software will continue till September 2022. After that, Mendeley Desktop software will no longer be available to new Mendeley users. Old Mendeley users who will be working on Mendeley Desktop will still continue to use Mendeley Desktop. Mendeley Desktop after September 22 will be replaced by Mendeley Reference Manager. Mendeley Reference Manager is nothing. It is the same Mendeley Desktop but with an online availability. We also have Mendeley Web Importer, which is a tool that can be integrated into any of your web browsers so that you can import references, you can manage references online from any of the different websites. Mendeley Site is a tool that is integrated or that can be integrated into your Microsoft Office Word in order to help you cite references in your papers. We have Mendeley mobile apps, which you can use to access your Mendeley library on your mobile. Mendeley profile is a very important thing because all Mendeley users can maintain their own profile with which they can ensure their visibility and visibility of their work to fellow professionals and their Mendeley community. Then we can have a Mendeley catalog, which will show you the recent works in your domains or your areas of choice. Mendeley feed, which is going to show you the different reviews on your work. Then we have a Mendeley suggest, which can automatically suggest you the new works in your areas of choice or your area of work. Mendeley data, as I have just told, that if you are preparing your own data set, you can add it to Mendeley data. And other people, other researchers, if your area, they can request you to use that same data from Mendeley data. Mendeley careers, you want to apply to Mendeley. I told you Mendeley is a large online community. You want to apply to Mendeley, you want to apply to other good publishing houses, good publishers, you can do it directly from Mendeley. You want to run a research project on some area of your choice, on some original idea, and you are falling short of funding. You don't have any funding body. So there is also a Mendeley funding that is available. There is a Mendeley Institutional Edition, which is obviously a product that comes for a cost. And then there is a Mendeley Developer Portal, which is an open API that can allow you to grow with Mendeley. So these are the different products that are available with Mendeley. Other notable features of Mendeley are for each of your works, if you add it to your Mendeley profile, Mendeley reader counts can be maintained, which is a unique readership statistic which has been asserted to predict the citation impact. Automatic extraction of metadata can be done for PDF articles by Mendeley, which I will just be showing you once we discuss Mendeley. You can claim your authored publication by linking your Mendeley profile to your own Scopus author profile. Citation and bibliographies can be maintained in Microsoft Office. You can do it in LibreOffice and even in openoffice.org. Private groups, you can make your own private groups with your colleagues, etc., to share and annotate your research papers within the copyright compliance responsibility sharing guidelines. So these are all the notable features of Mendeley. So now, up till now, whatever we have discussed, let's see if all of you have understood or not. So let's have a quick session over this. So I'll give a few questions and I'd like all of you to use the chat window to quickly give an answer to this. So citation tools can also be called as. Let's have quick answers. I would like to have an interactive session where I would like to ensure that my participants are gaining most out of it. So let's have quick answers. We can have the answers in the chat window. I can see the chat window, the number of answers is increasing. Reference tool, reference managers, reference manager. Okay, fine. Citation management tools or citation tools can also be called as bibliographic tools or reference management tools. So yes, many of you have given the answers correctly. Thank you. So let's go over to the next question. The answer was bibliographic management tools, and yes, it can also be called as or sightseers. But sightseers is not the correct answer. So the correct answer is bibliographic management tools. Next option. Citation tools helps us to manage citations for our research, organize our citations, format our citations, or all the above. What will be your option? Quickly type your option in the chat window. Great. I think everybody is giving the answer right. So the correct option is D. Yes. Citation management tools help us manage citations for our research, organize our citations, and format our citations. So yes, all the above is the answer. Mendeley was released in the year 2007, 2008, 2009, and 2010. Let's see what is the answer. Okay, fine. Most of you are answering it B, and yes, the correct answer is B. Mendeley beta version was released into the market in 2008, but yes, officially Mendeley was first made up in 2007. So great. I think all of us are there in the session, and I hope my attendees are enjoying the session. So let's start with the next thing. The first thing about Mendeley, which is reference manager, because I think a major challenge of any research that we do in the present time is that all thanks to Google and internet, we have a lot of data, we have a lot of references that are available. But reference management is a big challenge in itself. So let's see how can Mendeley help us in doing that. The first thing you will need to do for using this reference manager of Mendeley will be, you will have to create an account via mendeley.com. So you will have to sign up for Mendeley online. The simple thing you can do for that is on your Google, you can simply write mendeley.com. It will take you to mendeley.com website. Over there, you can sign up if you are coming for the first time. To create a free account, you just need to give your first name, last name, email ID, and choose a password. Once you are done with it, you will be assigned a username and password. After that, you can download Mendeley Desktop from the same web page. The same web page, if you scroll down, it gives you an option to download the Mendeley Desktop. You can download the Mendeley Desktop on your machine and start with building your library. So that is the first thing that you will have to do, that create an account for yourself. Download the appropriate version of Mendeley Desktop for your current machine. And once this app is installed, you can start working with Mendeley on your machine. So what will be the look of Mendeley Desktop? I will be switching over to my desktop. But if you have a look at this screenshot, this is how the Mendeley Desktop will look like on your machine. It will be it Windows or be it Mac system. The Mendeley Desktop is going to look like this. And if we see over here, the Mendeley Desktop offers a complete Mendeley experience if you have a look. And when you first open Mendeley Desktop, obviously for the first time, you will load Mendeley Desktop. It will ask you to log in. Once you have already logged in, this is the structure that is going to come on your machine. And if you see this structure, actually, Mendeley Desktop follows a 3-column structure. And this 3-column structure follows a flow from left to right. So the left-hand panel, this is the left-hand panel that you have. The left-hand panel shows you your Mendeley library. So it allows you to navigate through different filtering options for your library. If you see over here, it shows you my library with all documents recently added, recently read. Then the favorites can be marked. If you have your own publications, you can add your own my publications into this. Any collections that you maintain in your library, and if you maintain it in folders, I would say. So those folders can be seen in an unsorted manner in this case. So this left-hand side, which is the Mendeley library, will allow you to navigate through different filtering options in your own library. If you click on different folders, so that is what you will come to in the center, the central space that we can see over here. This is the all document screenshot that we have taken over here. But this will list the different papers that are there in your library. And This is the mail panel that is listing all our references. You double click on any of the references, you can actually see the detail of the individual references in the rightmost panel. So this is how the Mendeley desktop is actually going to have a look. I'll again give you a brief look into this desktop once we switch over to Mendeley. So I will now shift over to my Mendeley desktop so that we all can have an idea that how can we actually work with this Mendeley desktop. So I'll end this show and now I'll switch over to my own Mendeley desktop. So this is my Mendeley desktop and this is what I was discussing with all of you. If you see, this is how the Mendeley desktop looks like. If you see on the left hand side, this is the my library I have already logged into my library. So this is the my library. If you see at the top, I have all documents. If I click on this all documents, this is the list of all the documents I have in my Mendeley library. And if you see over here in this Mendeley library, these documents can be viewed in a tabular form. I am viewing them in a tabular form. I am viewing the library as a table. If I go to the view option at the topmost panel, there are two options available. Library as a table or library as citations. If I click on library as citations, you will see my complete library has now changed over to a citation style. So if you see in this case, now my library is appearing as a citation style. I'll open a basic folder in this case. So now if you see over here, I have all these papers and they are available in a citation style. If I want to view the citation style, which is the current citation style, so see in the view option, I have the citation style option that is showing me all the citation styles that are supported by Mendeley. At the moment, I can see only 10, 11 styles. If I click on more styles, it shows me all the other styles that are available in Mendeley. I can get more styles if I know the abbreviation of that style from the abbreviation, or if I know the library file. That means I know the style file, the URL where the particular style file is available. I can download that style file and I can install it on my Mendeley. So if you see, these are my installed citation styles that I have. Currently, my style that I have is APA, American 7th edition. If you want, I can change it to IEEE. So see, this is the IEEE citation style. So this is the first way. If you have already worked on a research paper and you have access to all the documents you want to refer into that research paper, this is one, I would say, indirect way of citing all your, of making up your bibliography in your paper. You can view your library in the particular citation style, and you can control and copy this particular citation style, this particular bibliography from your library. I can just control it, I can copy it, and if I want, I can directly paste it anywhere. So see, this is how the first indirect way of citing through Mendeley. My complete library I have cited over here in this particular file of mine. But obviously, we will not be doing this. We will be using the correct way. So this is the complete library that we have in this case. I would change the citation style to a table because that makes it more visible. I click on any of the document. Let's say I click on this document. So if you look over here, the right hand side, this right hand side shows me the details of the document. So if you see over here, it shows me the type of the document. It is a web page. It shows me the title of the document, the basic copyright owner of the document, the authors of this document, the publication, this document is a part of which publication, the year, the pages. The abstract will be visible if it is available online. If it is not available, if you can see, it has gone blank. Tags, author keywords, etc. The URL for the document will be shown, the catalog ID will be shown, and any other settings that are required will be shown. If you want to make any changes to your document in this case, the changes can also be made over here right at this position. You can double click on anything, like over here, if I want, I can double click on the abstract and I can add in the abstract if I have access to the abstract. This is the metadata of each document. And if I click on different documents, you will see Mendeley for most of the document, it is going to access the metadata for those particular documents. So if I click on any of the documents, I can see Mendeley by default is extracting the metadata of the documents. And trust me, 99.99% of time, all this metadata is correct. You don't need to make any changes to this metadata. So this is a basic overview of Mendeley desktop. Now let's come to the fact that how do I maintain my own reference library in Mendeley. So first time when you have installed Mendeley, you will be only seeing your library till this unsorted, and in unsorted you will have an option called as create folder. What I suggest is that before you start working on any of your papers, any of your work, it's better to create a separate folder for each of that. That is the technique that I follow. So let's say I create a folder over here. I'll create a new folder, and this time I'll call it test. So I have this new folder test created. Now, at the moment, as soon as I've created test, you can see my central panel has become blank, because at the moment I don't have any documents, I don't have any references in this particular folder. So if I want to add documents to this folder, what are the ways of adding document? To add documents, I have the first option in my Mendeley desktop, add. And if you click on this file option, the file option will give you options like add files, add folder. Add files is if you want to add an individual file. Like suppose if I click on add files, and let's say I go to my system, and let's say I'll select something. So I'll select any particular document. So let's say I select this particular document. So see, I can add one single particular document. But adding a single particular document will obviously not serve my purpose in this case, because research means I may have a number of documents. So the next option I can do is I can click on add folder option. And when I click on add folder option, see, it opens my complete system for me. And now from this complete system of mine, I can select any folder that I would like to add. So any folder or anything that I would like to add in this case, I can add it from my particular system. So let's say I have this document, I have this folder called as social media marketing. So I want to add this particular folder. I click on this particular folder, I select the folder and I select OK. So see, as soon as I selected on OK, there were two documents in this particular folder, and the two documents have been added. Now, these two documents are actual PDF. So if I want to read this PDF files, I can do it in Mendeley itself. I don't need to go outside Mendeley for reading this particular document. So what I can do is I can directly right click or double click on this document, and see the complete document opens up. Now, as soon as this document opens up for reading, I told you Mendeley also provides you annotation facility and notes facility. So if you have a look at Mendeley desktop, we have a complete annotation and notation toolbar over here that is available. So now with this annotation and notation toolbar, what I can do is I can add a note anywhere if I want. I can add this note. I am adding this note. My note is added. If I want to highlight a particular place, so I can even highlight my document while I am reading. I want to change the highlight color. So if you see over here, we have almost 8 different colors which are available. I can select a different highlight color, and I can highlight my documents with different highlighting colors. So that is how Mendeley helps me in reading and annotating my documents. So that is the reading part that we can do for available documents. The second thing is, obviously, now this is adding PDF files. PDF files, I have maintained it on my system, and I have added it to my system. Once I add it to my system, obviously the next thing is that next time, let's say I add some more new files to my folder on my system, every time I will have to also import those files into my Mendeley library. Now that can be a very difficult task to do, because every day, let's say I am in the habit of reading papers, every day I'll read 1 or 2 new papers, and I'll keep adding them to my folder, and then from my folder I'll keep importing them to my Mendeley library. So that is going to be a very difficult task. So for to manage or automate that difficult task, what I can do is I can simply click on the third option in the file, which is called as watch folder. In this watch folder, I can select any particular folder on my system. Like in this case, this particular folder was on my desktop. So I can select, either I can select the complete desktop, or I can select this particular folder. So as soon as I'll select on this particular folder, I'll click on apply and I'll say okay. So next time I open my Mendeley desktop and Mendeley desktop finds that I have added a new file to my particular folder to which I have set the watch folder option, it will automatically ask me and it will automatically import the new files into my Mendeley library. Into my Mendeley library, I automatically has those files. Now, that was the first part of adding documents to the library. But as such, if I talk about these documents, I would say at the moment the number of documents is too less. I would like to have more documents in order to be able to write a research paper. So what is the next way of adding documents? Let's have a look. To add documents, next way is I can import any documents or references from the web. To use or import references from the web, Mendeley provides me a tool called as Mendeley Web Importer. If you go to the tools option of your Mendeley desktop, you will have an option called as install web importer. So once you click on install web importer, this is the kind of page you are going to have, and whatever will be your default browser on your system. At the moment, my default browser is Microsoft Edge. So it shows me get importer, web importer for Edge. Whatever browser you are using, let it be Mozilla Firefox, let it be Google Chrome, let it be Internet Explorer. For most of all the common web browsers that are available, there is a web importer that is available over there. You just need to click on this button, get web importer for Edge. And once you click on this option, your web importer will occur on your web browser like this. If you can see my web browser, there is a small red color icon for Mendeley. This red color icon is nothing but Mendeley Web Importer. So using this Mendeley Web Importer, I can add new documents from the web to my library. How I can do that? We will have a brief overview of that also. So for that, let's say I will go to Google Scholar. You can also directly go to Science Direct, etc. also. I'll start with Google Scholar because that is something that most of us have used, most of us have an access to. So I'll go to Google Scholar and let's say I type in any particular topic. Let's say I'll type in social media marketing. So as soon as I type this particular topic, if you have a look, I have different documents available for this particular topic. And I'll click on, let's say, the first link. So when I click on the first link, now this is a book that is available. And let's say I find this book interesting. I find the contents of this book interesting. So what I want to do is I want to add the reference for this book into my Mendeley library. To add the reference for this book in my Mendeley library, what I'll do is I'll go to my Mendeley Web Importer. The first time you go to your Mendeley Web Importer, it will ask you to log in. I am already using on a daily basis. So this is how the Mendeley Web Importer screen will appear. But first time you will open Mendeley Web Importer, it is going to ask you to log in. Once you log in, this is how the Mendeley Web Importer screen will look like. Now, if you see over here, this is the reference that it has found on the page. So this was the particular book, Social Media Marketing, that we wanted to add. So we can select that. Now, where to add this reference in your Mendeley library? That is the next question. By default, if you won't have any folders, any collections in your Mendeley library, it will add this reference to your all documents. But in case you have different folders in your Mendeley library, so in that case, like you can see over here, I can expand my library and it is showing me all the different folders that I have in my library. So it will show me all the folders I have in my library and I can select any of the used folder. Now, at the moment, the problem is the folder I have just created is test, but it is not showing me the test folder here in the Mendeley library. So why it is not showing me the test folder here in the Mendeley library, I'll also discuss that. We'll go back to Mendeley desktop. And if you see over here in the shortcut options, there is an option called sync. Sync means synchronize your library with the Mendeley web. If I talk about, I'll click on this sync option and if you see below, it is syncing my work. So if we understand the sync option is very necessary. Because if I talk about the Mendeley Citation Management Tool, Mendeley Citation Management Tool is actually two parts. The Mendeley Reference Manager or the Mendeley Desktop that we are using on our particular system and the Mendeley Web. Mendeley Web is the cloud account of Mendeley that we are maintaining. So these two libraries of R need to work hand in hand. They need to be synchronized so that I can access all my work anywhere on the move, either from my Mendeley desktop, either from my Mendeley mobile, or from my Mendeley web. So that is why we have this synchronize option, which once you click on, it will synchronize all your work to the Mendeley web. So at the moment, I haven't added any work. I just added a folder to my library. So what I want to check is that whether now this folder is available on my Mendeley web importer or not. So let's go back to the Mendeley web importer and let's see. I'll close this. I'll have to refresh it. I refresh my Mendeley and see. Now, if I see over here, my folder test has come over here. So I'll select my folder test because that is where I want to add this document of mine. And I'll go back to my document and I'll add this document to my particular file. Once I have added this document, now another feature that you can see over here, the Mendeley is already showing me the reference that I wanted to add into my library. Along with that, it will also show me other references which are in the same domain or matching references. So if you want to, if you find those references also interesting, you can even add those references to your library. If a reference is added to your library, see, you can see with a green tick mark, the word reference will come. If a particular PDF is available for a particular document, it will show you the PDF for that particular document. The same thing can be done on other sites also, like instead of doing it from Google Scholar over here, I can go back to Google and I can directly go to Science Direct. So if I go to Science Direct, we'll go to Science Direct and here we will try to search for a title. We can have a keyword based search. We can have a title based search. So I am giving the keyword over here. And see, as soon as I give the keyword over here, it shows me different research articles which are there in the particular domain. Let's say now for a few research articles, you can see it shows you a download PDF option. I'll first click on this article because with this, I want to show you another basic feature of Mendeley. If you see over here, for this particular article, we already have the view PDF option and with the Elsevier. So I can directly view the PDF, I can download the PDF. But if you browse down further, if you come here, see over here, right at Science Direct and Elsevier, we have an option that says add to Mendeley, share or cite. So instead of opening my Mendeley web importer from Science Direct, I can directly click on add to Mendeley and this add to Mendeley will directly open my Mendeley web importer for me and I will directly be able to add this PDF to my Mendeley library. Why is this magic happening? This was no magic. Science Direct and Elsevier have officially adopted Mendeley and all your Mendeley work, your Mendeley library, Mendeley, I would say Mendeley researchers are supported by Science Direct. So if you are added into Mendeley, if you are using Mendeley, if you are writing your papers using Mendeley, their chances of acceptance in an Elsevier General, Science Direct General goes higher. So if you see over here, I have already added this, this general article is already visible now. It was being added to 2 folders. I'll add it to just 1 folder. So I can select this particular general article that I had. Now, along with this general article, see, it is showing me 48 more references were detected on this page. And I can go through those references. Like I can see which of the references are of use to me. Let's say I say the second reference is also of use to me. So I can even select that reference and I can click on the add option. These 2 references are also added to my library. One of these references is a PDF document that I have. So the PDF will be available in my library for reading purposes. So that is how I can import more references into my library through Mendeley. So I have imported a few references. Let's go to our Mendeley library now. But now if I see my test folder, I still have those older documents. So what will I have to do now to include more documents into this library? Can anybody quickly give me a reply? What will I have to do references, to see the new references. They are already added, but what will I have to do to add the new references to my library now? I have answers. Very good. Sync. So I will sync my work, and again my work is being synced, and see, as soon as my syncing gets complete, I now have all my documents added. And if I click on any of the document, if you can see the right hand side, I get the details of this particular document. So I have the complete details. And if you see in this particular document, the abstract, year, volume, page number, everything is available for this document. There were other documents that I had added, and this document is available as a PDF. So the PDF is available in this case. So this is how I can add documents to my Mendeley library. Now, this was about your Mendeley Reference Manager, maintaining your Mendeley library. Once we have maintained this Mendeley library of ours, the next task is now Mendeley Citation Management. How do I use all this work for citation management? How do I cite all this work into my work? So to cite all this work into my work, the first thing I'll have to do is I will have to use the Mendeley Cytomatic utility. So I'll go to the tools option, and there is an option. In my case, because it's already installed, it shows me uninstall MS Word plugin. In your case, when you do it for the first time, it will show you the option install MS Word plugin. So just click on that option, install MS Word plugin, and a plugin will be installed into your MS Word. And after that, if you will open your Microsoft Office Word, in Microsoft Office Word, at the top, you will see a references tab. And if you will go to the references tab, there will be a Mendeley Cytomatic toolbar that will be inserted into your Microsoft Office Word. So this Mendeley Cytomatic is going to be the tool that we are going to use to cite our work, from our Mendeley library into our document. So let's see. I hope till here things are clear. There are no doubts to anybody, and we can proceed further that how to cite our Mendeley work into our research work. Is our thing still here clear to everybody?
Participants, if you have any doubt, you can ask.
If you can unmute, you're most welcome to unmute. Otherwise, you can even use the chat window.
Actually, they are not allowed to unmute themselves, ma'am. So,
okay, fine. Yeah. Fine. I have answers in the chat window. Participants are saying clear. So great, participants. We will move forward with the Mendeley Cytomatic. So let me add a few lines to my introduction. This was a brief document I had created for testing purposes today. So let's say I have this line in my introduction. Now in this line, I would say, let me just put this a bit side. I hope my document is visible to everybody. So I have this basic document that I'm writing, let's say, and in this document, in the introduction itself, I am making a statement. I say social media marketing has become an important business engagement platform for companies nowadays. Now, this is a big statement that I'm making. And as a Mendeley expert, as well as with a brief knowledge of publication, I will tell all the participants today that this seems to be a very simple statement that we make generally. But my dear friends, try to understand this is not a simple statement. This is actually a fact which is not being stated by me or you. This fact is already stated by somebody, by some source, and it is published and available online in some source. What we have done is we have only reframed that particular fact. So this reframed fact, I should attribute to the proper source. So to attribute this fact to the proper source, I will now be using Mendeley Cytomatic to add the references from my Mendeley library. First thing I will be doing in this case is that for Mendeley Cytomatic, I'll be first deciding my citation style, and we will begin with IEEE citation style. So let's begin with IEEE. So see, I go to my Mendeley Cytomatic, and in the style, the default style was APA. I change it to IEEE citation style. Now, once I have changed it to IEEE citation style, whatever place in my document, I would like to insert a citation. I will take my mouse pointer to that particular place. And now what I will do is,
Sorry to interrupt you, Dr. Vasan,
yes,
but
yes,
just keep a watch on the chat window also, because some questions might be relevant for that point only.
yes, sir,
So,
absolutely right. Thank you so much. I'll
yeah,
actually do one thing.
ac-
I'll keep
ac-
this chat window open.
yeah. Actually, there are two questions. One from Udaini Chandana, that can we import from other reference manager, and the second question is from Monica, that how can we import more than two or three references at once. I
Absolutely
think
correct. Thank you so much,
this
sir.
is the right time to address these questions, because you are,
Absolutely,
yes.
absolutely. This is absolutely the right time. Monica ma'am, your question I'll just be answering right now. And Udeni ma'am, that was a very right question. Can we import from other reference managers? I would just, after I finish this, I'll give you an answer to that question also. So first we will let us see how we can import citations. So let's say I want to import citation at this particular place. So what I have to do in my Mendeley cytomatic, first thing in your document, take the pointer to the place where you want to insert the reference. Keep your pointer at that place. And from your Mendeley cytomatic toolbar, there is an option called as insert citation. Click on that option and you will see it opens the insert citation library. Now in this library, there is a text box where you can search for a particular citation by title or year in your library or by the author name. But obviously, if you talk about this, I would personally say this is a very difficult task, because the more number of references you have, the difficult it gets to search by this way. So an easier mechanism would be, I would directly want to switch over to Mendeley. So I click on the button, go to Mendeley, and see my Mendeley desktop is open for me. Now I can select whatever document I want to cite. Let's say I want to cite this particular document, Foundations of Social Media Marketing. I can select that particular document, and there is an option, send citation to plugin. This option is called as the cite option. I'll click on this option. As soon as I click on this option, you can see I have a citation added in my document with the number 1, because I'm following the IEEE citation style. So this is how I can add a citation. Now we come to the second question. How can we import more than 2 or 3 references at once? So to import more than 2 or 3 references, let's say at the same place, I want to have more references. So again, my pointer remains at the same place. I click on insert citation. I again go back to Mendeley, and let's say now I want to cite another document, and I select this document and I'll click on cite option. So now if you have a look, I have 2 citations already added. 2 citations already added, but this is not the citation style. My friends, beware. As soon as you use multiple citations at a common place, the citation style changes. To change the citation style, I will have to merge these citations. So what I will do is, I'll select both the citations, and as soon as I select both the citations, my option changes from insert citation to merge citations. I'll click on merge citations, and if you have a look, now my citation style has changed. I have square brackets number 1, comma number 2. So I hope that answers your question, Monica ma'am, that how can we import more than 2 or 3 references at once. You want to add more references? Let's add a few more references to complete this particular section now. So I'll again go back to Mendeley, and let's say I'll add one more reference over here in my document. I'll add a few more references over here. So let's say I'll add this particular reference. Now, if you see, I have added 4 references in my document. Now, next important thing, just writing. No, ma'am, you cannot select multiple references at once. So Nisha ma'am is asking a question in continuation with the same, that can't we select multiple references? Ma'am, multiple references cannot be cited at once. So that is why to cite references, you will have to cite them one by one. You cannot do it together. But yes, at the same point, if you want to cite multiple references, you can cite those references, and then you can merge those particular citations. Now, next important thing that we have to do in this case is that I just don't need to cite the references that I have. I also need to build a bibliography. So how do I build a bibliography? Bibliography will be maintained automatically by Mendeley. How? Let's have a look. Let's say I go to the end of the document at the place where I want to give the bibliography or references. And I'll come to the point where I want to insert bibliography. At this point, there is again an option in my Mendeley Cytomatic tab that simply says insert bibliography. I'll simply click on this option, and if you have a look, see my bibliography is automatically generated. So this is how Mendeley will not only help you manage your citations, it will also help you manage your references. You can even manage your complete bibliography with Mendeley. Next important thing, I added 4 citations. But now suddenly I was going through my work and I realized that citation number 1 should have been preceded by some other citation. Like before citation number 1, I should have added another citation, a more important document. So how can I'm sorry, how can I do that? To that thing, again, it's a very simple task. I'll again take my pointer to the place where I want to insert a citation, and I'll go to the option insert citation, go to Mendeley, and let's say I will select my document that I need to cite. So let's say I want to cite this particular document. As soon as I cite this particular document, see, there is a difference now. Renumbering of my citations has automatically happened. So my citations remain 4 because it is the same document that I've cited by mistake. But if you see, the document number which was 4 earlier has now become my document number 1. And now again, because I have 3 citations at this place, I can select all the 3 and I can say merge citations. So my citations are also being merged at this place. This again, I will merge the citations over here and my citations are being merged. Same thing can happen if you want to delete a particular citation. Let's say in this particular place, citation number 4, yes, if you want to collect, one of the authors is asking, is it possible to connect Mendeley with overleaf? Mendeley can be connected with any particular citation management tool, but you cannot connect it. You can export citations from that tool. How that is to be done, I will discuss after I finish this particular section of citation management. So please wait for that. And yes, Porek is requesting to please repeat bibliography. I will repeat the bibliography once again. Porek, please pay attention. If you want to insert bibliography in any of your documents, Mendeley will automatically manage bibliography.
Sorry to interrupt you once again, but for the information of the participants, I just want to inform them that we are going live on YouTube. So this session is being recorded on live on YouTube, and this session can be accessed by anyone, including you, ma'am, anytime, anywhere on YouTube.
Sure. Thank you so much, sir. So participants, that is, I think, an added advantage that in future, when you are working with Mendeley for the first time, and if you get any doubts or if you forget anything, you can access this session or you can contact me also. You're most welcome for that also. So to insert bibliography, the simple thing is go to the point in your document where you want to insert bibliography and you can directly click on this insert bibliography option. Mendeley will automatically insert the bibliography for you in your document. So that is how you can insert bibliography. Coming back to this particular citations that we were trying to manage. Now let's say citation number 4 is of no use. I don't find that citation of that use and I want to delete that citation. So what I can do is I can edit that particular citation or I can delete that particular citation. So delete that particular citation. What I can do is I can click on edit citation. I can manage that citation or I can directly, because this is a merge citation. So we'll add one more citation to delete it. So let's say at this point of time, at this point, I'll add one more citation and let's say I'll pick up this particular citation. Fine. So this is citation number 4. Now let's say I added this citation number 4, and now suddenly I realize that the citation number 4 is actually not useful, or I don't want to keep it at this place in my document. So what I will do is I will remove this citation from this document. So to remove this citation from this document, I simply have an undo option over here. So what I'll do is I'll simply select the citation and I'll select undo. So as soon as I'll select undo over here, or even if I click on delete, what I'll do is I'll see that my citation is undone. And now if I click on the refresh button, see, I am again back to my original 4 citations. So this is how citations can be deleted from Mendeley also. You can add citations, you can edit citations, you can delete citations. Second important thing, you made a paper, you prepared the paper in one particular citation style because one particular specific journal was asking for that citation style. And now you submitted the paper to that particular journal. Let's say the journal rejected that paper, and now you want to submit the same paper to another journal. But now a big problem is that this new journal asks for a new citation style. So what to do with the new citation style? Do I have to rework the complete document once again? No. Changing citation styles is not a difficult work with Mendeley. It's only a matter of a few clicks. Select your complete document, go to the Mendeley Citomatics tab and select whatever citation style you want now. Let's say I want American Psychological Association 7th edition. And as soon as I will select the new citation style, have a look, my complete document has changed. My citation styles have changed. My bibliography has changed in this case. So this is how I can write my complete document. And trust me, my friends, if you use Mendeley for citation management of your research papers, your research paper writing task will be reduced by almost half, because citation management can be completely automated by using Mendeley. I'll go back to a previous question that has been left. One of the participants wanted to know that can we import citations from some other reference management tools into Mendeley? So yes, you can import citations from some other reference management tools into Mendeley. If you go to the Mendeley file, desktop file option, in the desktop file option, there are import option. And in the import option, if you see, there is a BibTeX option, there is an EndNote XML option, and there is an RIS option. So the only thing you will have to do is that if you're working with EndNote, you're working with RIS, or you're working with some other citation management tool, all the references that you have in that particular library, you will have to convert them to either a BibTeX file or an XML file or an RIS file. Once you have your complete library of citations available in any of these formats, you can directly import it into your Mendeley desktop library. So that is how we can actually import our citations from any other citation management tool that we have been using into Mendeley. I hope this answers the question that I was asked before. And this also is an answer to the question that was asked by Sabita Banu. Is it possible to connect Mendeley with Overleaf? Well, in Overleaf, I think BibTeX files can be generated. So BibTeX files, yes, you can have BibTeX files from your Overleaf, and you can put it into, you can import it into Mendeley. So this was the reference manager and the citation utility of Mendeley. I hope
Dr. Watson,
yes,
Watson, I just want to bring your attention towards one more issue.
Yes,
like
sir.
you can see the third document on your screen.
Okay.
The third one, whose details are incomplete. Sometimes it happens that the Mendeley doesn't fetch the complete details of the document or the means paper we are referring to.
Yes, sir.
So can you be please kind enough to address these questions, that in that particular situation what the persons can do to complete the details?
Absolutely. Now, if we see over here, I have taken this particular general article, which is given over here. And once I click on this article, and if I go over here to the details pane, now this article is being shown over here. but I don't have the general name in the metadata. I don't have the volume number, and I don't have the issue of this particular article. So to solve this particular problem, what we are going to do is that, yes, in this case, a bit of author effort will be required, that I will need the details of this document. So what I'll do is I'll go to my browser. I'll open this actual document. It's a village journal. So I get the name of the journal over here. It is Internet Business, October 2010, and 408 pages. So the page number is actually not available, but we have the name of the journal available. In this case, because the metadata was not available, I can myself click over here and I can add the name of the journal. So I can complete the metadata of this particular document myself. So that is another
won't
feature
this
that
search
is
button
available.
work over here? Won't this
Yes,
search
sir.
button work over here?
Search button will not work over here. Search button will work on Mendeley Web. For that, I'll be showing Mendeley Web. That is the next part of my presentation. Search button will work on Mendeley Web. So this is at the moment, what we are seeing is the Mendeley desktop. We have at the moment worked only with the Mendeley desktop. We are yet to go to the Mendeley Web part of the profile. So I hope till here we have done two things up till now. We have used the Mendeley Reference Manager, and we have used Mendeley Cytomatic for citation management. So I hope till here things are clear to all the attendees. So we can go over to the next part of the presentation.
Yeah, attendees are requested to kindly confirm through the chat window whether everything is understood or not.
One of the attendees is also asking a question that they are working on Zotero. So dear attendee, even if you are working on Zotero, the only thing you will have to do is that you will have to export the total library of yours from Zotero into one of the formats. And BibTeX, I would say, is the most common format which can be supported everywhere. So once you can export your file from Zotero from BibTeX format. The BibTeX file can be easily imported into your Mendeley reference manager, into your Mendeley library. So that is how you can do it from any of the citation management tools that we are actually using. So this is the first part that we have done. So we are already through with all this first part. We will now come over to the next part. So the next part that we are going to do is organizing how to set up your library. I have already told you that to set up your libraries, it is a better idea to create folders so that if you are working on different, I would say, ideas, or if you're working on different domains, you're working on different papers, you can maintain all their references in one particular folder. So it's better to have folders. You can even mark documents as read or unread. That is another important feature that is available with Mendeley desktop, that any documents that you will read using Mendeley itself, your Mendeley library itself, it is going to mark those documents as read with a green color. And in case you have added a document to your Mendeley library, but you have not read it yet using Mendeley library, it will mark it as unread, so it will not appear as a green icon. So that is what we can do. That is what is again done with Mendeley library. Mendeley library also helps to show you what type of document you have attached, whether it is a PDF, it is a PPT, it is a document, it is an Excel, or it is simply a reference that is available from web. So even that can be done by Mendeley desktop. So that is about Mendeley organizing your library in Mendeley desktop. Synchronizing your library to the Mendeley cloud. I repeat, dear friends, I already told you. I repeat this again. This is the most important part of synchronizing your library to the Mendeley cloud in order to access it anywhere and read it from all your devices. So remember, Mendeley is going to back up your library online with the Mendeley cloud. So Mendeley desktop interface should be fairly intuitive if you are familiar with any different programs, and you can back up your library, back up your articles online anywhere so that you can read them at any point of time. and this can be done with the synchronize option. So that is about the synchronize option. Next is searching for your documents. Mendeley Desktop also provides you a search option, but rather than using the search option on Mendeley Desktop, you can directly go to your Mendeley web account also to search for this option, because Mendeley Desktop will provide you a limited search in this case only within your own library. But if you go to your Mendeley web, yes, you can search for all the documents. Another important thing, on the left hand panel of your Mendeley Desktop, just below your library, you can find an option filter by. This filter by is very important because this filter by allows you to filter all your documents by author, tag, publication, or keywords. So all the documents that you have in your library, if you know that you have multiple documents by a common author, or if you want to find all the documents of a particular tag or of a particular publication type, you can do that through this filter option in your Mendeley library itself. So that is the search option that is available. Next we have is the PDF viewer that I have already told you, all my friends, that if you add any PDFs to your library and if you want to read that PDF, you can directly, or you should directly do it from Mendeley Desktop, because Mendeley Desktop PDF viewer option is not just going to help you read your citation, it will also help you properly format your citation, properly edit, annotate, add notes to the papers that you are reading. So you can add notes, you can annotate, you can highlight the documents that you are reading with the Mendeley PDF viewer option. You can also look up for some term definitions, etc. in this. Mendeley citation plugin, which is Mendeley Cytomatic, we have already done that. You can install MS Word plugin or LibreOffice plugin. Obviously, that will depend on what platform you are working on. You can either install MS Word plugin or LibreOffice plugin. This is the LibreOffice screenshot that I am showing over here. The MS Word plugin I have already shown to all of you in the previous slides. So this Mendeley citation Cytomatic plugin by it is going to make your work much easier to insert your citations into your research. That is how the Mendeley Cytomatic toolbar will appear on Mac, and on Windows it is how it appears. We have already had a brief overlook at it in our session. So you can generate in-text citation in words by clicking on insert citation or edit citation option. Just go to the Mendeley library, select the article, book, or document that you want to cite, and you can simply click on the cite option to automatically cite it into your document. You can also insert your bibliography, and you can even choose a style. Let's now have a brief break with a few questions. So what is the storage space limit that is offered by Mendeley Free? That means free account of Mendeley. What will be the storage space limit in that case? Let's have quick answers from you in the chat window. I have a few answers. Let me have a look. Very good. 2 GB. Yes, 2 GB is the correct option that we have. Next question. Let's have a look. Can Mendeley be accessed on your iPhone? I won't say my iPhone. I would say, can Mendeley be accessed on your iPhone? Yes or no? Okay, let's see the answers. Yes, absolutely correct. Yes, Mendeley can be accessed on iPhone. It can be accessed on any of the devices that we have. Okay. Which items can you add to your Mendeley collection? Document, PDFs, or websites? Or all the above? Yes, absolutely correct. Thank you, participants. All the participants are, most of the participants are saying all the above. And yes, you can add any kind of document to your Mendeley collection. That means it can be a document, it can be a PDF, it can be a website, it can be any particular kind of document. Next important feature of Mendeley. Now, I am working on a paper, I am working in a particular domain. But let's say I am working with my group of colleagues, or I want to share my work with all my group of colleagues. So to share this work with my group of colleagues, Either I tell my colleagues to do their work on their individual Mendeley desktop and share it with me later in a point of time. Or what I can do is I can join and create groups to share references. So Mendeley desktop, at its below my library, you will find an option called as create groups. In the free account, you can create a maximum of 2 groups in your Mendeley library. So you can create a new group, which can be a private group, it can be an invite only group, or it can be an open group. So you can see the groups you created. There are also many public groups that are available on the Mendeley web. If you are interested in any of those groups, you can join those groups also, or you can follow those groups also. You can add documents to the groups that you create by dragging or dropping a particular item. From the Mendeley web, you can select any particular groups. Now remember, there are 3 kinds of groups that you can create in Mendeley. So the first is private group. Private groups will let you share full text document, but only with a limited number of members. That means only the members that you will be adding to your private group, they will have access to the documents that you will be sharing in the private group. Nobody outside your private group will be able to see the group, the file, or the members of this particular group. The advantage of this private group is that you can collaborate with your personal research team. You can share full text documents with members of your private group, and members of your private group will be allocated different colors. There are almost 8 colors that are provided, that are supported by Mendeley. So members of your private group will be allocated different colors, and they can share and highlight annotations. They can mark notes in that private group, and they will be marked with those different color which is allocated to each member of the group for highlighting. You can also find public groups on the Mendeley web, as I've already told you. You can browse by discipline to discover new groups. You can connect with colleagues. You can join new communities on the Mendeley web. You can search and search for people. If you know there is an expert in a particular domain and you want to follow the work of that particular expert, you can search for people, click follow to get regular updates about their work. Next important thing about Mendeley is you can discover new research, recommendations, and the impact of your work. So you can search your Mendeley catalog for new work. You can add new work to your library with one click. We have already seen that how we can do it. If full text is available, a download icon will appear in your library, and you can download the full text of the particular document also. You can also search the online catalog which is available on the Mendeley web. For any papers by discipline, you can browse the category by discipline. You can find new research that is based on what is popular or what is most recently added. If a particular article is freely available, obviously you can easily add it to your library. Even if it is not freely available, you can add the reference to the library. Next important thing Mendeley will particularly show you about any such articles that you will share, you will check in your Mendeley library. It will show you the social statistics of the article. And this is, remember, this is not a social statistic that is taken by any particular website or borrowed from somewhere. This is a social statistic that is maintained by Mendeley itself. So what is the readership statistic of your own publications or of some other papers that you're trying to access on Mendeley web? Mendeley can show you all that statistics also. For any kind of updates, feedbacks, and resources, I told you in the very beginning, Mendeley is one citation management tool which has the largest community of online professionals who are continuously working to improve Mendeley. So you can get new tips, you can share your problems while using Mendeley, and you can even stay up to date on any new additions to Mendeley by visiting the Mendeley blog. This is the link for the Mendeley blog that I've already shared. There are proper guide tutorials for all the Mendeley products that are currently available. Mendeley, as you know, has already grown a lot. So there are many new products that are available in Mendeley. If you want to have any guides for any particular products, you will find them online available. You can import bibliography from Mendeley to LaTeX. Now, this is a very important part. Nowadays, many of us, we don't prefer writing papers on Office. Instead, we prefer working on LaTeX. For those of you who are unfamiliar with LaTeX, who do not have an idea of what LaTeX is a typesetting system with inbuilt features enabling the generation of technical and scientific documentation. And a few years down the line, it was difficult to use LaTeX because you had to install LaTeX on your system and you had to know how to use it. Nowadays, it is very easy to use LaTeX because there are many online tools that allow you to format your papers using LaTeX. Like one example is overleaf.com. So in this case, how can you import your bibliography or your library from Mendeley into LaTeX? The simple thing is we will have to use BibTeX. So BibTeX is a tool as well as a file format that can be used to list and process references, mostly in conjunction with LaTeX documents. So LaTeX documents, they generally accept BibTeX files. So we can now see how these tools can be integrated with Mendeley Desktop to do referencing in LaTeX document. For this, what we'll have to do is see in the Mendeley Desktop tools option, you will find an options. So open Mendeley Desktop, click on tools, select options, and now in the option dialog box, you can select on the BibTeX tab. Once in the BibTeX tab, there is a box saying enable BibTeX syncing. You need to select on that particular box in order to keep one or several BibTeX file up to date with all the documents in your library. That means over here, there is an option. You can either maintain a separate BibTeX file for every document in your library. You can maintain a single BibTeX file for your complete library, or you can create a BibTeX file for each group in your library. Each group means each folder in your library. So you can select on any of those options. You can select a path where you want to save this particular BibTeX file, and you can simply click on OK. This will generate a BibTeX file for each folder that you will create in your Mendeley Desktop or each document in your Mendeley Desktop. Once you have this BibTeX file, the simple thing is you will create a folder where you will store all these BibTeX files as per your settings in your BibTeX menu. And now you can go to your LaTeX file or folder, and you can add the name of this BibTeX file wherever you want to add your references. So this is how Mendeley Desktop can also be integrated with citations in LaTeX. So to add your citations to LaTeX, the automatically generated BibTeX file can be simply added into your LaTeX wherever you have to add bibliography. Like in this case, if you see to the bibliography tab, I have added the location of my BibTeX file. So this is how you can do citation through Mendeley even in LaTeX. If you want more details on this, I have even given the link of a Mendeley document which can help you do this particular citation. Next important feature of Mendeley is we are coming towards the end. So before we end, one important feature of Mendeley is Mendeley Suggest. Mendeley Suggest is a new service that is available to all Mendeley users. And how is this service used? Mendeley Suggest is a simple service that will scan through your Mendeley library. It will see what are your choices, etc., and provide you with recommendation for papers that you may want to read. This feature can help you draw information while you are creating account, details from your profile, contents of your personal library. Next feature we have, next Mendeley product that we have is Mendeley Web Catalog. So that is a collection of references that can be added to personal libraries by Mendeley users. Remember, the references will be anonymized, meaning that there will be no way to connect to a catalog entry with a specific user and then process the same. So your work remain yours, it is protected. This process will compare the various versions of a reference that are added by different users, and it will build a common canonical and I would say the most updated reference in this case. So this will help to build a cross-publisher, cross-discipline collection of references that can constantly be refined and improved. So this is a basic introduction to Mendeley Desktop basically, and this is how we can access the web catalog. You can search for a reference using the search tool that appears in the main toolbar on Mendeley.com. You can enter a keyword, press the search button, save reference link, and that is how you will be able to use Mendeley Desktop. So, dear friends, finally coming towards an end. Mendeley is the time, it's actually the time to change the way we do research through Mendeley. And before I end this particular session, I will give you a brief overlook of what I was just saying, the Mendeley web. So I'll finish with this with a brief overlook of Mendeley web. This is Mendeley.com. If you go to Mendeley.com for the first time, this is how Mendeley.com will currently be visible. You can create a sign-in, you can create an account for yourself. If you have already created an account, you can go to the sign-in option. And once I go to the sign-in option, this is my library, how it actually looks. If I go back to the Mendeley, this is a look of my library. This is my account. From this account of mine, I can maintain my profile. I can have my settings. If you have a look, see, this is at the moment, I use my Mendeley desktop. Now, all the references I had in my Mendeley desktop, they are actually available over here in my library. So if you see, this was the test document that we had made. This test document is now available in the Mendeley library. So this is the Mendeley library that is available on the Mendeley web. So together, Mendeley desktop or Mendeley reference manager and Mendeley web is the complete Mendeley citation tool. Any questions if we have from the participants, we can now take it up.
Yeah, I have already dropped a message in the chat window to the participants that if they have any queries, they can write in the chat window. But I think because we were taking the questions in the between the session only, so I think there is no more questions. And I request the participants once again, if they have any questions, they can write in the chat window. We are open for the questions now.
I'll stop sharing my screen and I think we can now take the questions. So most of the questions that were asked by the participants, I have already answered. But any further questions, dear participants, you're most welcome to ask me those questions. I hope you all have been prompted, motivated to use Mendeley desktop. So I hope by today evening, all of you will at least sign into Mendeley and have Mendeley desktop on your systems. So the next time you write a paper, you write a new assignment, and you will be using Mendeley desktop for citation management. So I hope you all have been motivated to do that.
Our chat window is full of now appreciation messages now, and one of the participant was looking for your yes. So Dr. Vishal has already shared your email ID so that if anyone wants to reach to you, see he or she can reach you later on your email ID, madam.
Welcome, dear participants.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am, once again for sharing your experience, sharing your expertise on Mendeley with the participants of this FDP. And I'm quite sure that they must have been benefited by attending this session on Mendeley.
I do expect the same, sir, and thank you so much. I am also privileged to be a part of this wonderful gathering today. So
and I'm thankful.
You so much.
Yeah, I'm thankful to my participants also that they have attended this session with so much curiosity as well as with so much attention that they were able to answer all the questions which were asked in between the session.
Absolutely. I really appreciate, and that meant that all the participants were with us during the session.
Yes.
So the questions were only from this point of view to ensure that every participant is with us during the session.
Actually, that is the biggest problem in these online sessions, actually.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you once again for sharing your expertise today.
Thank you so much, sir. It was my pleasure, and I would now be taking your leave.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ritika madam, for accepting our request to be part of this FDP.
Thank you so much, sir. And dear participants, I hope I have really motivated all of you to be using Mendeley. So start using Mendeley, and any problems, any doubts you have, we are all there to help you and guide you with that. So thank you so much. I will now be taking your leave. So thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you once again. And
thank you,
to the participants, we are just going to share the feedback link for this session. So we request you to kindly fill that feedback form. And one more information, that tomorrow's session is from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and the speaker will be from Singapore, Mr. Mary Stephen, who is the Director of Data Science, APAC Edelman Data and Intelligence Group. So if you are interested, if you are means that is your cup of tea, data science, then you are requested to join the session in time. We'll try to start the session in time and end in time. Thank you very much once again for your patient listening throughout the sessions so far. Feedback link has already been shared with you. And try to join 15 minutes earlier so that we can start the session in time tomorrow. That is 9:45 a.m. We expect you.